Hello, I am Romeo Rojas, and this is my CO2 Dragster project for my engineering architecture class for Joliet Central High School. This is the table of contents for what's going to be in the slides. So, getting started. Before I started the project, I did some research on aerodynamics, and this was talking about drag and push, and laminar flow and turbulence, as you can see in the bottom right. And we also talked about different shapes and what kind of air resistance and what kind of friction they bring to the car itself. So with all the research and all the brainstorming that Mr. West had us do with the assignment that he posted for us to do, then after we finished the assignment, and then after we finished brainstorming on what our possible designs that we wanted to be or wanted to have for our car, then Mr. West gave us the block of wood or the piece of wood that came with the kit, and we had to get a dial caliper and a ruler to measure all the measurements and to see how we're gonna create the design and how we're gonna want it within the block of wood and its measurements. Then after measuring the block of wood to almost precise measurements with the dial caliber, then we moved on to the piece of sketch on the paper, and you can see the bottom left, I sketched my design on paper, and you see all the measurements and with the dial caliber and all the dimensions. And the other dimensions, I turned it in, Mr. West checked it, and spotted out some errors with axle holes measurements and all the little stuff that needed to be fixed before I moved on to my actual design on Inventor. As you can see in the top right, it's a little sneak peek of what I'm going to be talking about in the next slide. So the blueprint. So after modeling, as you can see in the bottom right, after modeling the whole sketch of my design on the measurements of the block of wood, it was time to do the assembly drawing, explore the drawing, and the dimension drawing for Mr. West and for our assignment that he posted. But for the assembly drawing, you see in the bottom left, it was just simple, putting all the parts together with the CO2 the CO2 cartridge, the wheels, the axles, and etc. And on the top left, the explorer drawing, you can see the parts list with the quantity, part number, material, mass, and volume, and all the bubbles pointing out which part is which, and then the dimension, like you see, as I said before, the bottom right. And then I reprinted out a B-size paper that was supposed to be the blueprint, but when we printed it out, it was with no dimensions, so we can just have the raw design from Inventor. Now it's for the construction. So after we printed out the B-size paper with the no dimensions on the drawing, we got the paper and we cut it out, and as you can see on some of these pictures on top right and the middle top, that we cut out the design from the paper and we put it on a piece of wood and we traced over it so we can see what the design is going to look like and where to cut on the piece of wood. So you can see the top middle, you can see I cut off some excess wood, and try to get as close to the design as I possibly can. Not too close, but close enough for when I do the sanding, I get to that exact measurement of where I want it to be. And then you can see on the top right that I use the drill press to cut out the axle holes. And then you can see in the bottom right, Mr. West is cutting the wood for me because this machine is very dangerous, so he had to do it for me. And that saw was just cutting out this little piece right here, as you can see on this middle one, the little edge, that little kind of like wing, like that plane wing, you know what I'm talking about. And then after all this cutting with the sand, as you can see in the bottom middle and the bottom left, all the sanding. And there's also another machine that I couldn't fit in here, but there's a machine with like a little rounded piece of sanding equipment to get that little angle that I have for my CO2 Dragster. You can see right here and right here too. This machine was like a cylindrical sanding piece of equipment to get this curve that I was saying before that my CO2 Dragster has. Now, after we finished construction and finished cutting out the Dragster car, we took it home and we painted. So you can see in the top right, I used white paint to paint out the whole body white, And then the bottom right, you can see I used some black paint to paint the bottom, and you can see you can paint this front piece black too. And I also painted a smiley face. So I thought it was, my own creative genius. And after painting, we assembled the car. It was very easy. No glue, nothing, no extra outside forces to make the things sit together. It was just straight. Put them together, and that was it. Nothing too crazy, nothing too hard. And then you see the CO2 cartridge. Again, nothing too hard, nothing too hard, nothing too crazy. But also to mention, there is eye hooks. It's just, you can see the eye hooks right here, but they're under the car. You see there's little holes for them to be placed. Just to put that out there, just make sure that you guys are aware that there are eye hooks for the racetrack that is coming up that we will be talking about later in the video. So, after we finished, it's time to race. So I turned to my car, Mr. West checked it to see everything was working, and it was. And it was time to race, and you can see my car right here, and it's also back here too. And this track, so there's this black piece right here, and it held some string, and the string went all the way down the hallway, and the string was for the eye hooks that I was talking about earlier. And you put the string through the eye hooks, and it would make sure that the car will go straight and not go all over the place, And so Mr. West had this little machine right here, this little black machine that he would press down on, and it would like puncture the CO2 cartridge and create a hole so it can go off and race with the other car. And I have a video here for you to watch and see how it worked. And as you can see, I was really excited. I was really surprised that I won. I knew I was gonna win, but I was really shocked that I won. I was really happy, and I had beat this car right here with the Batman symbol. You can see right here. Yeah, this is one of my friends. So I was really glad to beat him because I get to rub it in his face. But yes, that's how the track worked. And at the end of the track, it was these lights that let you know who won first. So this is my reflection. As you can see in the bottom, the two videos, they're the same race, but I lost my second race, which is okay. I mean, it was still fun. It was still a fun thing that happened. I had lost. You see the bracket on the right. I had lost to Nathan, and then Nathan lost to Ozio, and then Leo, my friend, had ended up winning. Which congratulations to him. I'm proud of him. But reflection. What worked and what didn't work? I would say the design itself, I think, is a good design. I feel like that the design itself worked. Like with the little, like kind of like wings that it had, the little small ones. But the only thing that didn't work was that I believe that it was a little too heavy. Compared to Nathan's, the person that beat me, his car was a lot lighter than mine, and mine had a lot of like weight and it had a lot of friction from the ground, and it was just really heavy. And the CO2 cartridge, once pumped in, like it went off fast. Don't get me wrong, it went off fast, but as it continued on the track, it slowed down because of how heavy it was. So definitely, if I were to do it again, I would make sure to cut some weight off of it because it was extremely heavy, and I think personally that's what made me lose. This is my credit slide. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Mr. West, for this opportunity and project. I really do appreciate you in this class. This was really fun. Thank you to my peers like Logan and Gio. Gio's the one I beat in the first race. Leo is the one that won the whole like bracket and got the medal and everything. But thank you all. Thank you. This project was really fun. And I'm not salty that I lost, but I am upset that is over because this project was really fun. It was really nice to put my idea out there and just to be creative and to come up with the design and use all the machines to create the CO2. It was really fun. This whole experience, like I would love to redo it again. And it was just really fun. I've said that multiple times, but I can't express enough how fun this was. Because I got to, it was just working together with all my peers and even just collaborating with Mr. West on ideas and designs. It was amazing. And you know, I really do hope that you get to do this if you're watching. But thank you, thank you, and thank you. As said before, I am Romy Rojas. Have a good day.